Hello, my name is Ray, and I'm a Master Gardener with the Virginia Cooperative Extension here in Newport News. Master Gardeners are trained volunteers who serve as an educational resource for the citizens of the city, and through public interactions encourage and promote environmentally sustainable landscape and gardening practices.
Hi, my name's Charlie. I'm also a Master Gardener in Newport News. The Master Gardener program is sponsored by Virginia Tech University and Virginia State University. Chapters are found all across the state, the United States, and in other countries.
We're here to give you step-by-step instructions on how to assemble the rain barrel you recently purchased. But first, a short explanation about the importance of collecting and using rainwater on your plants. Every drop of rain in our area ends up in the Chesapeake Bay and eventually the Atlantic Ocean. On its journey to the sea, it picks up and distributes a variety of pollutants. By collecting and using water collected in your barrel, you play a vital role in stemming the direct runoff of some of the chemicals. It may seem to be a small and futile effort, but every drop saved can add up if we all do it. It's your way of contributing to saving our planet one drop at a time.
Set out here on the table, we have the tools and components that you'll need to assemble your barrel. We'll take a moment to name these components to make it easier for you to understand the terminology in the assembly procedure. First, we have the screen, the grate, and the hose clamp. Next to that is the barbed 3/4 inch diameter hose connector and sealant compound. Next to that, we have the brass bib, a washer, O-ring, and a lock washer. The bib we supply is oriented on a 45-degree angle to facilitate connecting a garden hose. Lastly, in the tote bag, you'll find a rain gauge, a soil test kit, and several brochures regarding the number of practices you can do around your house to live a greener existence, a brochure on how to care for the barrel, and one on how to decorate it.
Also here on the table, we have the tools you'll need to assemble. First, you'll need a flathead screwdriver or a 5/16 nut driver. Second, you need an electric drill and a bit to make a 3/4 inch hole. Have a hammer and file nearby as they may be needed. Lastly, we have the sealing compound, which Charlie mentioned earlier. Okay, is everybody ready? Let's get started. Gather up the grate, screen, hose clamp, and the screwdriver or nut driver. Place the screen on a flat surface. Center the grate on top of the screen. Slide the clamp onto the grate. You may want to tighten the clamp a little before proceeding. Turning clockwise on the clamp's adjusting device tightens it. As the wise man says, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. If you notice on the grate, there are 6 protrusions which will stop the clamp from sliding up too far on the grate. Tuck the corners of the screen into the clamp, pulling up on it to smooth out the top. Alternate pulling on the screen and tightening the clamp. Now that the screen is tucked and smooth on the grate, finish tightening the clamp around the grate. Set the grate assembly aside for now.
If you look at your barrel, you should find a pre-drilled 3/4 inch diameter hole near the top. Take the barbed hose fitting and run a bead of sealant compound at the joint where the barbed end and the hex portion of the fitting meet. Now take the fitting and push it barbed end in first into the hole. In a perfect world, the fitting should go right in by pressing against the threaded end with your palm. In a world where master gardeners drill holes, your hole may need to be reamed a little with a drill or file, or you might need to use a hammer to get the fitting in.
Now you're ready for installing the hose bib. Without it, all you'll do is catch rain and not be able to use it. The top of the barrel is removable. Get a good grip on the top ring and turn it counterclockwise and set it to the side. Please note that if you're working with more than one barrel, do not mix the top rings. Experience has taught us that they are not always interchangeable barrel to barrel. Next, remove the recessed top. This can be done easily by pulling on it using the hole in the top for a handhold. Set it to the side also. Some barrels have a rubber screen at the bottom. This is used by the original users to keep the product from settling on the bottom. It can be reused or discarded at your discretion. Now comes decision time. Think of which downspout you're going to use to direct rain into the barrel. You'll want to point the overflow away from the house and have the bib located where it is easily accessible for attaching a garden hose. You got it. Okay, now it's time to drill a hole for the bib. At the location you've decided to have the bib, drill a hole 3/4 inch diameter through. We found that this hole is better drilled in the vertical position of the barrel near the bottom and not on the sloping area. Next, put a bead of sealant around the thread of the bib. Install the rubber washer over the longer threaded portion of the bib. Install the bib into the drilled hole by turning it clockwise. The bib should form its own threads in the barrel as you turn it. Be sure to keep the bib straight and at a right angle to the barrel to ensure the washer or O-ring will seat properly and seal the connection.
So the O-ring compresses. So
Are there any little ones running around the house? You may want to enlist their help for the next thing to do. Lay the barrel on its side, either on the ground or on a sturdy table. Take the lock washer and screw it onto the bib threads inside the barrel. Hand tighten until the nut is up against the barrel wall. This added part is to prevent the bib from turning when attaching the hose.
All right, you're ready to finish up the assembly. Set the barrel upright. Install the recessed top and secure it by putting the top ring back on by turning it clockwise onto the threads in the barrel. Take the grate assembly, the sub-assembly, and install it into the existing hole in the recessed top. We recommend that you tilt the grate so that the clamp's tightening device goes in first, then push down on the grate until its flange rests on the recessed top. Now you're done.
Here's a step that you'll have to do on your own. You'll need to purchase a section of flexible downspout. They're available at most hardware stores. We recommend you put the barrel on a couple of blocks to make it fill easier into a bucket or attaching your hose. Take this into account when determining where to cut the downspout. We also want to caution you that it's safer to cut the downspout if it's removed from the house. Cut your downspout and attach the flexible hose to it. Direct the flex spout towards the grate and reap the benefits of using rainwater in your garden. Thank you for purchasing a rain barrel from the Newport News Master Gardeners and the VCE. The money you've spent goes to support our organization, with some of it going to our scholarship funds and the rest to purchase barrels for future sales.
We'd also like to thank our partners, the Waterworks and Newport News, who work behind the scenes to help us purchase, pick up, and store the barrels so that we can get them to you at our workshops.
From both of us, thank you and happy rain harvesting.